I think most of us have been subtly misled about what real intelligence actually looks like. Growing up, we're basically told it's about having all the answers, holding these impressive degrees, or always having the absolute quickest comeback in a conversation. But as we dig into the psychology behind truly wise individuals, so today, we're taking these profound psychological insights and turning them into a practical 5-day self-improvement checklist. You're going to have a daily goal for your work week that will literally transform how you interact with information, with others, and honestly, with yourself.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between what society tells us is smart and what actually is. Fake intelligence? Well, that's entirely built around the ego. It's all about maintaining this image of perfection, pretending to have all the answers, and just defending that image at all costs. Real intelligence, on the other hand, requires a completely different kind of strength. It's about actively seeking the truth, willingly admitting where your knowledge has gaps, and choosing absolute integrity over looking good in the moment.
And that brings us to the core concept driving our 5 daily goals. Intellectual integrity means valuing truth far more than looking smart or protecting your ego. Honestly, this is the common thread I've found among the absolute wisest people. They just don't tie their identity to being the smartest person in the room. Instead, they tie it to being the most honest about reality. Even if that means admitting they don't know what, say, blockchain actually is. Once you adopt this mindset, you unlock a tremendous amount of freedom.
So, to help you build this trait, here's your 5-day intelligence checklist. We've covered the real meaning of intelligence, so next up, Monday is all about embracing intellectual humility. Tuesday, we argue to understand. Wednesday, we regulate our emotions. Thursday, we escape echo chambers. And finally, Friday, we prioritize true effectiveness. Let's dive right into Monday.
Day 1, Monday, embrace intellectual humility, which basically just means stop faking knowledge.
Look, when most people encounter a topic they don't quite understand, their first instinct is to bluff, right? Or just quickly shift the topic. Our brains absolutely hate looking uninformed. But on Monday, I want you to fight that instinct and use this exact phrase. I don't know enough about this yet to give you a meaningful answer. Actually, say it out loud if you can. Delivering this single act of honesty is a massive sign of psychological maturity and inner security. And the best part, it completely frees you up to actually learn something new.
So the crucial point is that psychologists call this exact behavior intellectual humility. It's simply the willingness to admit gaps in your knowledge without feeling threatened. And it's remarkably rare because it requires you to completely separate your self-worth from appearing smart. Once your ego isn't on the line, you open the door to just massive personal and professional growth.
Moving right along to Day 2, Tuesday, argue to understand, where we approach disagreements with genuine curiosity.
For this one, we really need to shift our focus away from that constant fear of being wrong. If you watch someone who always needs the last word, what you're seeing isn't confidence, it's actually fear. Arguing to win is just an ego victory. It's combat. But arguing to understand, that's what truly intelligent people do. They prioritize accuracy and insight over protecting their pride. They realize that exploring reality is way more productive than defending an illusion. Plus, this approach naturally deepens your relationships. So on Tuesday, when you inevitably encounter a disagreement, I challenge you to pause and ask yourself this specific question. What can I learn from this perspective? The second you ask yourself this, it's like a switch flips. You stop defending your ego and you immediately transform the entire dynamic of the conversation from combat to collaboration. We're halfway through the week. Day 3, Wednesday, regulate your emotions. This is all about mastering the space between impulse and action. Now, this habit is built on one golden rule. Never let a temporary emotion create a permanent decision. I want you to think back to a time when you were extremely angry or overwhelmingly excited or maybe deeply heartbroken. Think about it. What decision did you almost make in the heat of that moment? Take a second to really remember how disastrous it could have been if you hadn't created space between that feeling and your action. And this brilliantly illustrates how emotionally intelligent people operate. They don't just suppress their feelings. Step 1, they feel intense emotions deeply, sometimes more intensely than anyone else. Step 2, they treat those emotions as valuable information, not as commands. Step 3, they pause and create space. And finally, Step 4, they deliberately decide when and how to act. Neuroscientists call this emotional regulation, and it is the ultimate shield protecting your relationships, your reputation, and your inner peace.
All right, now we transition to Day 4, Thursday, escape echo chambers. Your goal here is to avoid the trap of constant agreement.
I know it feels incredibly good to have everyone validate your opinions. Of course it does. But an echo chamber is psychologically dangerous. It quietly inflates your ego and creates these massive blind spots. High integrity means actively seeking out thoughtful disagreement. In fact, psychological research shows that individuals with a growth mindset thrive on constructive friction, not constant comfort. The safest environment you can possibly build for yourself is founded entirely on honest, unfiltered feedback.
So for Thursday, your task is to find friends, colleagues, or mentors who will look you in the eye and gently ask, have you considered the other side? You absolutely need people in your corner who care enough about you to challenge your assumptions. Seeking out this discomfort is where real, tangible growth happens. It's the ultimate preventative measure against ego inflation.
Finally, we wrap up the work week with day 5. Friday, prioritize true effectiveness. Never confuse being busy with being effective.
In today's world, we kind of wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, don't we? But on Friday, I want you to dismantle this illusion and ruthlessly protect your time. Ask yourself these genuinely uncomfortable questions. First, am I actually making progress, or am I just staying in motion? And second, is this activity aligned with what truly matters? If the answer is no, you've got to stop doing it.
Okay, let's dive into this critical distinction. Efficiency is merely doing things right. You could be incredibly efficient at a task that literally doesn't matter at all. Effectiveness, however, is doing the right things. Highly intelligent people understand that busyness without a clear, meaningful direction is, well, actually, scratch that, it's nothing more than sophisticated procrastination. Real intelligence requires the discipline to just say no to the noise.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our ultimate summary. These 5 daily goals aren't about having a high IQ. They are the fundamental pillars of integrity. On Monday, you choose truth over image. Tuesday, understanding over winning. Wednesday, wisdom over impulse. Thursday, growth over comfort. And Friday, impact over mere activity. As we conclude this explainer, I really want to leave you with one final thought. Look at these 5 habits of the wise. Which of these hit you the hardest today? And more importantly, which one will you commit to working on this week? Pick just one to start your self-improvement journey right now and watch how it completely transforms your perspective. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.